Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Srimad Bhakti AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Viṣṇu Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtadharshata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Nama Acharya Shridhari Das Thakur ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Navadvip Dham ki Jai. Ganga Yamuna Mai ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani ki Jai. Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Guranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Eighth Canto, Withdrawal of the Cosmic Creations, Chapter 7, Lord Shiva saves the universe. Text 22. Please repeat after me. Tvam ekaha sarva jagata ishvaro bandha mukshayo tam tvam archanti kushalaha prapannarti haram gurum tvam eka savad jagata Ishvara Banamokshayaha Tam Tvam Archanti Kushala Prapanarti Haram Gurum Tvam Eka Sabajagata Ishvara Banamokshayaha Tam Tvam Archanti Kushala Prapanarti Haram Gurum Tvam Eka Sabajagata Ishvara Bandhamokshayaha Tvam Tvam Archanti Kushala Prapanarti Haram Gurum. Please check. I like to chant Govardhan.
Tvameka sarva jagata Ishvaro bandho mokshayo Tvam archanti kushala Prapanarti haram gurum.
You like to chant Vijay Krishna?
Prabhu, he is not here today. I can chant. Tam eka sarva jagata Ishvara bandha mokshaya Tam tam archanti kushala Papanarti haram guru.
Okay. Tvam ekaha. Your Lordship is indeed Sarva Jagataha, of the three worlds, Ishvaraha, the controller, Bandha Mokshayoha, of both bondage and liberation, Tam, that controller, Tam Archanti, worship you, Kushalayaha, persons who want good fortune, Prapanna Arti Haram, who can mitigate all the distresses of a sheltered devotee. Gurum, you who act as a good advisor to all fallen souls. Translation. O Lord, you are the cause of bondage and liberation of the entire universe because you are its ruler. Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness surrender unto you. And therefore you are the cause of mitigating their distresses. And you are also the cause of their liberation. We therefore worship your Lordship. Purport. Actually, Lord Viṣṇu maintains and accomplishes all good fortune. If one has to take shelter of Lord Viṣṇu, why should the demigods take shelter of Lord Shiva? They did so because Lord Viṣṇu acts through Lord Shiva in the creation of the material world. Lord Shiva acts on behalf of Lord Viṣṇu. When the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 14.4 that He is the Father of all living entities, Aham Bija Pradapita, this refers to actions performed by Lord Viṣṇu through Lord Shiva. Lord Viṣṇu is always unattached to material activities. And when material activities are to be performed, Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is therefore worshipped on the level of Lord Vishnu. When Lord Vishnu is untouched by the external energy, he is Lord Vishnu. But when he is in touch with the external energy, he appears in his features Lord Shiva. Oh my God, Itivarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulanamaditamene Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Kaditavachalam Pangam Langai Tegadem Yakipatamaham Vande Shri Gurandini Tarinam Vancha Kopati Bishcha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Okay, translation again. O Lord, you are the cause of bondage and liberation of the entire universe because you are its ruler. Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness surrender unto you, and therefore you are the cause of mitigating their distresses. You are also the cause of their liberation. We therefore worship your lordship. Welcome to chat. Hare Krishna. Happy to see you. I'm sure everybody's happy to see you. Everybody was wondering when will they have darshan of Chad again? Chad darshan. You got back yesterday?
Late last night.
Oh, late last night. All right, nice.
He's always on my, when I get class, he's always there.
Nice.
Phone wasn't there, someone must be on the way.
Yeah, nice. It's always nice to see a devotee, right? Yeah, so those fortunate souls, they come in contact with Krishna consciousness. They come in contact with a spiritual master. They come in contact with Krishna, the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. And if they take to that process of chanting Hare Krishna, then all good fortune is there for them. What's that? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. The translation, does anyone remember? It spreads the rays of the benediction. What is it?
That's the second one.
Yeah.
I don't remember the original.
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years.
Want to give him a mic? Chad.
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of all transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we're always anxious.
Yeah, so fortunate soul comes in contact with the chanting of the holy names of Krishna as given to us by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if a person takes to that chanting of the holy name of Krishna, then all auspiciousness is there for them. Of course, sometimes people wonder, how long does that take? How long does it take for me to experience the results? It really depends on the individual. Srila Prabhupada said, he was asked one time, how long does it take to surrender to Krishna? He said, in just one moment, you could surrender to Krishna. So that's there, but generally takes a little longer. Of course, it's nice to know and nice to note that it doesn't have to take that long. You can just immediately surrender. But still, on the other hand, we tend to find ourselves for the most part, people tend to find themselves in a gradual process of surrender. Maybe they surrender sometimes and then they take it back, or like that. But also, we should note that, and always remember that when we talk about surrender to Krishna, it means to surrender to a spiritual master devotee of Krishna. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he would travel throughout India, sometimes he would meet these pious people, these devotees of Krishna, devotees of Ram, and he would ask them, so you're connected with Krishna, you're connected with Ram? And then they would say, yes. And then he would say, and what devotee are you serving under? And they said, no, we have direct connection with Ram, direct connection with Krishna. So then he wouldn't say anything. And then he would walk with his disciples, then he would tell his disciples, that person has no devotion. He doesn't understand. So when we talk about surrender, it means the devotees are there. We have to keep the devotees in mind, and not just keep the devotees in mind, but take shelter of them, surrender to them, serve under them. So when we talk about Lord Shiva, he is Vaishnava Namita Shambhu. He's the greatest Vaishnava, and therefore anyone who comes in contact with him, Shiva means auspicious, so they attain auspiciousness. They attain a good result. And the question that Srila Prabhupada makes writes in the purport is, well, why do the demigods have to take shelter of Lord Shiva? And this was brought up, Viṣṇu is there, why not just take shelter of Viṣṇu? And sometimes Krishna, he likes to give his devotees credit. He wants to give his devotees credit. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, you be Savyasachin, that means an instrument in the war, or an instrument in the fight. Krishna could have just snapped his finger and all of them would be dead, all of the soldiers. But he said, you be an instrument in the war, in the battle. So we also we're trying to surrender to Krishna, and Krishna likes to give credit to his devotees. Krishna likes to give service to his devotees. So we should also see ourselves as instruments in Krishna's mission. Therefore, we have to keep ourselves very strong. As far as possible, we have to be very, very strong, physically, mentally, spiritually strong, so we can fight in this particular war, this battle against Maya, and be a proper instrument. And we may think ourselves an imperfect instrument, and that may be true. We may be imperfect in so many ways, but still we could be an instrument. Just like a doctor, if all the doctors were to wait until they were fully learned and fully realized in health and practices and experience and healing people, then there'd be a lot more problems. But we have many doctors on the field who aren't the most experienced, but they know something, so they're trying to help people. So similarly, devotees, they shouldn't wait to give it their all, their 100%. They shouldn't wait until they think themselves fully realized or perfect or something like that to try to help, but they could help. And as much as they can. So, and then Srila Prabhupada explains how Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he's the father of all living entities, and this refers to actions performed by Lord Viṣṇu through Lord Shiva. So the glance, that glance of Viṣṇu is said to be like Shiva, and he's consorting with material energy, and therefore in this way he's the father of all living entities in this world. And Lord Viṣṇu, he's always unattached to the external energy, whereas Shiva, his wife is the external energy, Maya, Durga, so he has connection in that way. But when he doesn't have connection, then he is Viṣṇu, and when he has connection, he's Shiva. So there's this oneness going on. So does anybody have any questions about any of this? I think Chad has a question.
Hare Krishna. The last thing you said about being an intermediary between basically the material world and the spiritual world, Viṣṇu. Can you elaborate a little more about that? I haven't really heard anybody talk about that. Trivita Prabhu? I think Balaram wants me to direct it to you. So Balaram Prabhu said that essentially Shiva is kind of an intermediary between the material realm and the spiritual realm, and at sometimes if he's not influenced by Maya or the material energy, then he's like Viṣṇu, and if he is more influenced by the material energy, then he's like Shiva, or more something like that. Is that right, Balaram?
Well, Dravida Prabhu could.
Yeah, he has a very important role to play in the creation. You read the Brahma Samhita, and Mahavishnu was there, and then he glances, right? And with the glance, when he glances at each universe, he's injecting the living entities in there who have been dormant within him. That glance is the expansion of Shiva, Sada Shiva, because Vishnu doesn't consort with the material energy, but Shiva does. You see, he's got his consort there. So that's one way that he's has a material function. He facilitates the population of the material energy. It's very important. But I'm thinking. He's also known as the greatest Vaishnav, right? And some of you may not know this, but there's a famous prayer to Radharani that he composed, and it was sung recently. Well, last year, I guess, in Dubai, where they have that kirtan. You probably heard it. Huh?
Kirtan Rasa.
Yeah, I got it. It was on YouTube, and there's Bhakti Bringan Govinda Swami leading the kirtan. But they're chanting first, everybody, and they got their phones because they don't know it. Munindra Vrindavandite Triloka Shokahadini, and it goes on like that, and after each verse they sing Hare Krishna, and then they go to the next one. So that's composed by Lord Shiva, and it's all of that. And there's one also to Krishna, the companion song, also composed by him, and it's a very famous. And so he's got this, tremendous role to play also as the greatest Vaishnava in teaching. So on one side, he also performs this, we feel, material function of injecting the, helping to populate the universe and so forth. And he oversees the mode of ignorance, so he's worshipped by Rakshasas and so forth, and so he has that, So yeah, he's got both aspects, material and spiritual.
Hare Krishna. May I share my understanding? Maybe correct me if I not. This is like we can see on this from the other side that there are two main persons: is Shri Radha Krishna and other many expansions of there, and so sometimes Srila Prabhupada told that this this spiritual world very like big very tidedness, very tided, no, like
Yeah, I said complex.
yeah, and but for us sometimes Srila Prabhupada told that Vishnu and Krishna are the same, but it's the same only until we so like low consciousness. But there are also many differentiations, and this Vishnu, which is expansion of Sankarshan, and this is like guṇa-avatāras, Viṣṇu, Brahmā, and Shiva, and they control the gunas. This each with guna, and so and also this Vishnu is goodness, and Shiva is ignorance, and this is like like we can see like different person, but also they are expansions of Krishna. It's like and so yeah. So it's quite complicated, but we should to understand it. We should concentrate, fix our mind on Mahamantra, and then it will be released revealed, yeah, little by little. Like Chetadharpana is, our consciousness covered by many layers. And when layer by layer will be give up, then we can see more clearly.
You have something to say, Avro? He's from Varanasi, so that's the place of Shiva. Yeah, right?
Well, we can think in the terms of past times also. When Lord Ramchandra comes, Lord Shiva comes as Hanuman, so and as a servant of Lord Ramchandra, and Hanuman is the 11th Rudra, which is who is incarnation of Shiva. So we can see like in terms of that, and also like when Krishna comes, Lord Shiva comes from Kailash to see Lord Krishna. So in terms of
Lord Shiva and Krishna have a fight too one time. Remember that one? Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
Krishna
Yeah.
Leela?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but at last even Krishna defeats Lord Shiva in the
Yeah.
so
Temporary. Yeah. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he visited a number of Shiva temples, and the Chaitanya Bhagavatam explains that on the way to Puri, then he saw Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and first he saw Lord Jagannath, and then he went into ecstasy. Then he saw then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya brought him to his house, and so on. But before that, he stopped at some Shiva temples, he respected, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu respected him as a great Vaishnava, and he chanted and danced there and this and that. I mean, generally, Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas, they wouldn't go to these places that much, or sometimes not at all, just because one reason is that people tend to be very confused. They tend to, a lot of confusion stirring in their minds about different things, and one of them is Lord Shiva, or the demigods. So sometimes the Vaishnavacharyas, they decide not to go to these places specifically, just because they don't want to give people the wrong idea. And that happens sometimes, actually. But when you talk about Varanasi, I mean, the other day we were talking about how if you die there, then Lord Shiva comes and he chants Ram, right, in the ear. It's interesting because you also have, in the whole display of the universe and going up, you have Shiva Loka, and you have the Goloka, and you have all these places, right? But you have this place, you know, where Lord Shiva is there. I mean, we don't really talk about that much because obviously we're trying to go to the Goloka, Vrindavan, but there is that section, and you wonder sometimes, you know, who is that for? I'm sure it's described. I'm just forgetting. So therefore, you could tell I'm not a Shiva Bhakta. Yes. Chad?
Hare Krishna. I guess kind of like you mentioned also, at the basic level, we're servants of the servant, and Shiva is one of the greatest servants, so I think that kind of answers some questions too.
Yes, yes. We're servants of the servants of the servants, and Krishna, or Shiva, is the greatest Vaishnava, so we're servants of Shiva. Yeah. Still, devotees have to be careful how they manifest that devotion, because there could be a lot of confusion. Just like on Shiva-Ratri, Srila Prabhupada writes in the Krishna book that generally Vaishnavas, they don't celebrate this. But then Nanda Maharaj and they all went to celebrate one time. And we see our Vaishnavacharyas really didn't do that. And when Srila Prabhupada was here, he didn't. This wasn't the main. This wasn't a festival in the calendar that he would have devotees celebrate. And nowadays, it's quite common, at least among some temples within ISKCON, that it's celebrated. And some people. Like I had one brahmachari called and he's like, he was from Europe or whatever. He's like, and he was here in America. And he's like, why are they celebrating Shiva-Ratri? And he's like, they have a Shiva lingam right before the Radha Krishna deities, and they're bathing the Shiva lingam. Why are they? He said, did Prabhupada want it? And that, it's kind of like.
I saw that here. You think about here.
No. It happens many temples all around America now. It's more and more common, the Shiva-Ratri, and full-on, festival. But again, Srila Prabhupada, he didn't want to do it because people are already confused enough about who is supreme, right? They think, as Dharma Sage Prabhu has mentioned, that they think Shiva is supreme, Krishna is supreme, and they're also supreme. It's like kind of we're all one type of thing. So as not to like confuse people more, because some people have a really heavy leaning towards this idea of impersonalism or oneness, or so he wouldn't celebrate such festivals. That's one reason. So, yes.
I have a question about how to be instruments, and this is like, should we be conscious about it, or if we, how to say, unconscious, engaged in services, like how it works? That
Yeah.
and is it possible to be in service unconscious way?
Yeah. Well, Ashram Maharaj tells a story how he was out picking tulsi, and because in Hawaii, the tulsis just grow like you don't need a greenhouse. They're just growing outside, and there's tulsi everywhere, big tulsi plants. Very nice, actually. Some places in India are like that, but So anyways, he was out there working on Tulsi, and he said so many things were going through his mind. He was a new devotee, and he was thinking, oh, maybe I'll leave, or this or that. Some mundane things were going through his mind. That's what he was saying. So then one devotee, Govinda Dasi, she brought ashram, or babru, to Srila Prabhupada, and she said, oh, Srila Prabhupada, this is Babru, and he is doing so much nice Tulsi service. And then Srila Prabhupada told him, he looked at him, he said, oh yes, very nice. He said, devotional service must be done with the body, he said, and the mind. And then he felt that Srila Prabhupada was seeing that his mind was wandering in the service and so on. I mean, it happens, but that's the idea that devotional service not only has to be done with the body, the external body, but with the mind. So therefore, hearing Krishna's holy name while we're doing our service, thinking of Krishna's pastimes, thinking of Srila Prabhupada, thinking of the spiritual master, thinking of how to please them with the service. So there's different Krishna conscious thoughts that can be, that should be going through our minds, and in this way we're engaging our mind. So in terms of being unconscious instruments or conscious instruments, I mean everyone we could see as, we could see all different types of circumstances we're going through as learning experiences, and people can be teaching us, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. It's not. But we want to be instruments in a conscious sense that, yes, we think, okay, well, let me do this for Krishna, let me do that for Krishna, let me try to engage myself in Krishna's mission in different ways. And yeah, that's important to be conscious about it, to try to rack our brains how we can help the mission of Srila Prabhupada, and to try to engage ourselves fully in that. That's the whole training of brahmachari life, full on engagement. And sometimes, certain circumstances, we have to, ultimately we have to learn how to engage ourselves. We can't always have somebody there engaging us. So those are some thoughts. Yeah, I think Javita Prabhu has something.
There's a book about Lord Chaitanya called Chaitanya Mangal. I forget who wrote it. Murari Gupta, I think. Who is it? Lord Chaitanya. So in the course of my work, I got a copy of that, and I remember reading it, and I saw that when Lord Chaitanya was traveling, he would go to the Shiva temples, as you say, and he would chant to Lord Shiva, but he was asking him about Govinda. So I have this thing, and I was thinking, maybe I've got it on here. I didn't even know if I had Chaitanya Mangal, and sure enough, it's on here. So I was looking up Shiva. So this is a pastime that occurred, if you just take a few minutes, at Shiva-Tattva's place when he was still in. And so everyone please hear this. This is from the book. Everyone please hear the story of another day's pastimes. One day a person singing Lord Shiva's glories arrived at Shiva-Tattva's house. He offered a basin to the feet of Lord Gaur Hari, and then with a happy heart, he sang Lord Shiva's glories. Shiva, Shiva, he joyfully called out. Pure devotion for Lord Shiva was manifest in his body. Listening, Lord Gaur became joyful at heart. As he heard Lord Shiva's glories, Lord Chaitanya felt his joy increase more and more. Manifesting the nature of Lord Shiva, Lord Gaur danced. Forgetting himself, the devotee of Lord Shiva was filled with joy. Then Lord Gaur climbed on that devotee's shoulders. No one is as fortunate as that devotee. Carrying Lord Gaur on his shoulders, that devotee joyfully sang and danced, his eyes now red. Lord Gaur manifested the form of Lord Shiva. The Lord spoke orders like Lord Shiva. He spoke words like Lord Shiva's words. He played a dumbaru drum. With his mouth he loudly sounded on the horn. loudly chanting, Rama, Krishna. Lord Gaura laughed and wept, filled with the sentiments of Lord Shiva. Lord Chaitanya wept. Aware of all spiritual truth, Shiva's Pandit carefully recited many prayers. Sri Mukundandat also recited many prayers. Aware of all spiritual truths, they joyfully danced. Lord Gaura descended from the singer's shoulders with great devotion. Lord Chaitanya sang the glories of Lord Hari. Wild with bliss, Lord Chaitanya danced, joyfully singing the glories of Lord Hari. He was plunged in an ocean of bliss. In this way, Lord Chaitanya, who was an ocean of mercy, showed great mercy. Hearing of this pastime, Lochan Das is overcome with bliss.
Nice. Yeah. Jai. Any online?
I also it remind me that in Jaivatharma, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, interesting way one devotee asked him about Shankaracharya, and I don't remember who is here, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks that he says, this is a great devotee, and this is incarnation of Shiva. So this is like our lineage has very good, how to say, that Shiva is very great devotee.
Yeah. Any online questions or contributions? Yeah, stunned in ecstasy, hearing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking the mood of Shiva. Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.